is up, my ninjas? I am Strident, and I am back with another review. As promised, it's the M0 Flashhawk, aka the G.I. Joe SKYHAMMER. Originally it was the Night Striker, but I had to change it because there is a Night Striker. It's the Night Force version of the whale. Anyway, this is my Black Ops high-speed attack jet. I've repurposed the Leonard core, M0 Flashhawk, along with other core vehicles for my purposes, because sometimes I'll be looking for G.I. Joe stuff and I can't find it at a price that works for my budget at the time. Whereas the core always worked for my budget. I bought 12 core figures for a little over 10 bucks. So my son was super happy. So we've got 10 extra soldiers that we repurpose as different characters here and there. I love core vehicles because they're made out of that like indestructible plastic that you can barely even burn, and they're made durably, and it just, whatever you can't do with the Joe stuff you can do. I pretty much just took all the stickers off that said the core, and they were really badly colored stickers too, like hot greens and shit like that. It just messed up the look, that I was going for. So I got rid of that, repurposed it as a G.I. Joe vehicle. Originally, we were going to have this as a Cobra vehicle, but what ended up happening was I didn't have enough Cobra stickers. So my son and I played a little mission where the Joes went up against this secret weapon. They couldn't really outfly them, so they had to find the base and then sneak in and steal it. Then they repurposed it, mass-produced it, and now we have my little squadron of SKYHAMMERs. It's just a nice plane, plain and simple. No pun intended. I love the missiles and the missile storage. Instead of having pegs, strangely shaped pegs, you have clamps. And the clamps fit perfectly. There's like no confusion or complaints or issues with those clamps. They work perfectly. Also, you can see that the landing gear is up while the wings were out, I'm sorry. But back to the clamps. I'll go into that other thing later. The clamps are made of a very thick plastic that no matter what you do, for whatever reason, it seems like those clamps hold on to the missiles, always. To me, that's awesome, because, you think about kids see these things, they want to play with them. Adults, some of us do play with our toys, and if you're going to keep pulling those missiles out to have them shoot, Fox 1, Fox 2, you're going to need to have a place to put them. And, like I said, they found that balance between detail, collector detail, and playability, and it's here. And it's like a sleeper, because I always see tons of these things, but then sometimes, at different times when I go to Walmart, I don't see any of them anywhere. And if you go on Amazon, a lot of times these things are really expensive. This thing, they cost me between 7 to 10 bucks. Also, in the cockpit, you have your stick and your throttle, and they're made thin at the top and they get fatter as it goes down so that you can hold it. It's just like the Sky Striker, except there's more space. You know what I'm saying? And your Joes can actually just put their hands on top and hold on to it. I have a ripcord in there with the Rise of Cobra ripcord with the 30th anniversary helmet. It just fits. The other thing is, if you're like me, you collect with size in mind. The Sky Striker is just too big. Even if I had it up on the wall or something, it's just too big. So I have 5 of these, and they don't take up the same amount of space that one Sky Striker takes up. Imagine having 2 of them. And I have an AC-130. It's just too much. And, like many of you, I come from the school where, when we were kids, companies gave you these ginormous vehicles, but I like when it's ginormous for the right reasons and it's to scale. This, what is this, an F-18? It's too big. And I put it next to my freaking AC-130, which is the biggest plane I have, and they're kind of battling for size. Also, I complained about the Sky Striker not being able to be stored on the ground with the landing gear out and the wings back. because the gimmick that they made had it where you push the little lever, and when you push it up, the landing gear and the landing gear comes out and the wings move forward. It's a nice idea, but you know, it's not practical. Now, as you can see with the Flash Hawk, it's not even a problem. Now, in the picture I had before, I had the Sky Striker with the wings back and the landing gear up. I just put it flat on the thing. But as you can see here, I'm showing you, these are the wheels out with the wings back. I showed you before with the plane actually, you know, out. And I'll put that picture up in just a second. But, you know, it's nice because that's how they store them, even on aircraft carriers and whatnot. You know what I mean? So once again, landing gear out, wings retracted, folded in. I mean, it takes up less space that way. Here it is the way that the Sky Striker is. Wheels out, wings out as well. Landing gear out, wings open. You can see the other SKYHAMMER in the background is doing the same thing. Here we go again. Wings open, landing gear retracted. That's just the way that it should be. You know? And it's cool because also, you know how Hasbro's been making things out of scale? With these, they're in scale with the things that should be bigger in your collection that Hasbro has shrunk down. The only thing smaller is the Sky Sweeper, which is awesome because up until I got these things, the Sky Sweeper was my sole Black Ops jet, and I could only find one. This was back when it was evil, when it was a Cobra vehicle. We had Copperhead flying it. But you see how much space. It looks small, right? But once you put the guy in there, there's plenty of room for shoulders because core figures are usually bigger than Joe's. But I mean, that's perfect scale to me for the way Hasbro does things. Then they need to scale down these jets. I mean, it's a one-seater. It kind of makes sense that this one-seater would have room for, you know, one person. And then on top of that, that since it's a smaller jet, it won't be the same length as the real, you know, almost scale accurate, you know, F-18 or F-16 or your Raptor or whatever. Another thing, the feature that these things have are the light up and lights and sounds. They have light up thrusters along with the takeoff sounds. So, you know, when you feel like pretending that it's about to take off and it's thrusting off or it's doing some crazy Top Gun maneuver, you just press that little button you see right there and just do what you got to do. And this adds to your playability factor, as opposed to having that stupid lever that the only thing that it's there for is nostalgia. We had it when we were kids. Now, this thing, you can play with like two of them in your hands at the same time. You know, many of us are bigger now, and we still can't play with two Sky Strikers at the same time. But you get the flashing lights to emulate the whole, you know, fire coming out of your thrusters or heat or whatever. And you get the takeoff sounds or the speed up sounds or whatever. You can use it how you want to. Me, I play so much Ace Combat, it's ridiculous. It kind of helps when you know what these things are supposed to look like, and you can kind of, you know, you can emulate all that. You know what I mean? With your toys or your, you know, your Joe collection. And for me, because of the whole like taking pictures and creating dioramas and all that stuff, I need something that's playable as well as good looking. So having 5 of these bad boys, it's just pure awesomeness. Pure awesomeness. So, you know, that's it for me as far as the M0 Flash Hawk goes. I think it's a win-win. $7. I think they're on sale now, and they're about $6 or $7 at Walmart. Pick up as many of these mugs as you can find. You will love them. If your kids get a hold of them, they can't break them because it's not that much to break. And in reality, it's going to stand up to anything that you throw at it. And that's kind of what you would want, you know? I've had my AC-130 fall off of where I had it strung up a couple times because I strung it up the wrong way. But that thing's tough. Chap May makes some pretty tough, you know, vehicles. They use the regular ABS, but, you know, it's not horrible. They use more of it than what Hasbro tends to do. Hasbro, they don't use enough of it in certain spots. But it's a win. I mean, look at how badass this thing looks. And this is what we're imagining when we play with these guys. So, you know, if you want something that it definitely, it straddles the fence properly between, you know, collector realism and playability, get it. Because, you know, G.I. Joe is supposed to be a little futuristic and a little bit realistic because it's real, it's kind of real world military based. So this is perfect. It's perfect to me. It's like the perfect fusion between the F-22 Raptor, the Sukhoi Pack, and the F-35 Lightning. And then there's a little bit of the MiG-35 thrown in there. You know what I mean? So it's equal parts fantasy and equal parts, you know, aspects of existing military aircraft. So it's fantastical enough to not piss off any companies to say, oh, you're breaching our contracts right now and, you know, or our copyrights by doing this. And, you know, at the same time, it looks like something that could exist, except for the fact that there's only one seat in there. So, you know, if Hasbro is going to continue making ginormous one-seater vehicles, scale the shit down to this, because then at least we'll get our money's worth, you know? Anyway, I'm Strident. That's how I feel about this. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. This is a win. Like I said, these things go for about $7 to $10. I will talk to you later. Peace outside, folks.